And everyone, I'd like to call this meeting to order. This is the regular meeting of the Diamond Head City Council. It's Tuesday, June the 3rd. It's 6 p.m. I'd like to everyone to bow their heads for the invocation by Councilwoman Lisi.
Lord, as we begin this meeting, we ask for your guidance, wisdom, and support. Fill us with your grace, granting us clear vision as we work together to make decisions for the benefit of all in Diamond Head. Help us to always seek to be an influence for good, and please bless all who are present here this evening, as well as all of our citizens, especially those who are struggling. We ask all these things in your holy name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Will you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Councilmember Finley.
Here.
Councilmember Lisi.
Here.
Councilmember Cumberland.
Here.
Councilmember Clark.
Here.
Councilmember Marr.
Here. Thank you. Can I get a motion to confirm or adjust the agenda?
Motion to confirm.
Wait.
Oh.
Oh.
Additions?
No, we have. There's 2 revisions and 1 addition.
Okay, I make a motion to adjust the agenda with 2 revisions and 1 addition. Revision number 3 and 11 and addition number 17. Can I get a second?
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Lisi. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Presentation agenda. The next regular meeting of the Diamond Head City Council will be held Tuesday, June 17th, 2025 at 6 p.m. here in the council chambers. City Manager's report, please.
Thank you, sir. A quick update on the projects we have going on around Diamond Head. The Comey Drive Calipacona Pond project, it's now for 157 days with a current end date of July the 17th. The contractor, as if any of you have driven past there, have seen where they've started dredging the Calipacona Pond. They're working from the back front, trying to get as much water out as they can as they dredge out that pond. The weather slowed their progress a little bit, but they're still making some good progress on it overall, and trying to get the final on the Comey Drive drainage areas that they've been working on. So they should be working on that and finishing up here soon on that portion, but they are working on the weekend, some on Saturday, to try to catch up on some of that time missed due to weather. The MDOT project, they're working on the final ramp. They've updated the completion date of that to June the 27th. So the contractor's currently working on that multimodal lane and then the overpass, putting in the new bridge. So it kind of seems like it's going a little slower than the other 3, but they're making pretty good progress, I think, overall. The dog park project, I'm currently waiting on the engineering firm to get back to me on the updated drawings. They've done all the surveying work, and they're just putting all that together to get that to us. Public Works will continue clearing some of that site little by little as they can when they have time to get that prepared and ready. The Paving 2025 project has a start date of June 23rd. We will start that project then. It's for 90 days with a current end date of September the 21st. Right now, the engineer is still waiting on the final contracts and insurance from the contractor. So should have that pretty soon. We were hoping to get that started Monday, but they just couldn't get their paperwork to the engineer fast enough. The Enterprise projects that we have going on, the McKeekee Drive, the Public Works is about halfway done on that, and actually have seen a great improvement where they dug the drainage ditch in the back. That everything kind of drained off from Friday's rain, and they were able to get equipment back on there today. So that's really working. So they're going to finish that the rest of that all the way out, so that that whole area can drain off better, and then bring in a little dirt to fix where it's a little low. the Kapapa Way, and once they get finished on Kiki, they'll get started on that project and get that drainage ditch between the two houses dug. The Cocoa Court and Manua Loa, we're waiting on the engineers. Well, I got the engineer's final design this afternoon, so we're waiting on some work assignments from the contractor on those. And then the Kiki Street area, we did the surveying of that area and did the project that was needed. It unfortunately still has some issues in that whole area. So I asked the engineers to expand the area to include the side streets of that. So they're having to go back and get some more survey information so they can look at the overall design of that area to make sure that water is flowing properly in there. The canal dredging, there's an amendment on tonight's agenda for your approval. Once we get that approved, the engineer, well, I should say the engineer is probably already doing it, but the engineer is working on new bid documents and the redesign to that project, which really is not a lot of redesign. It's just more getting the project ready to get it back out for bid so that we can get that turned around, have MDEQ approve that, and get that out to get it under contract. So we're still trying to get it done now during more high tides than in the wintertime when the low tides or the high tides are pretty low and the low tides are very low. So we're working on that one. Jordan River Boardwalk, the MDEQ received the drawings from the engineer. I think they were like 95% done, so there may be a little change here or there, but mostly it was, I think, electrical, getting the lights out there for that project. But MDEQ is reviewing that, and as soon as the engineers get the electrical done, they'll send that as an addendum to that plan and for MDEQ to finish reviewing over. So hopefully we can get that back and get out for advertisement here soon to get that project started. So that would be a great amenity we could have in that nice boardwalk. The detention pond, I received the updated design yesterday from the engineers, and I'm meeting out with POA tomorrow to look at that on site to make sure what he's seeing and what I'm seeing matches up, and if there's any additional changes we may want to do on that one to help that one. On the canal dredging? Oh, yeah. Sorry about that. Hazard mitigation grants, the generator grant from FEMA was actually approved, but the timeline on that disaster is expiring before FEMA thinks or MEMA thinks that we can get it done. I think it's October. So they're asking for an extension to that overall timeline. Once they get that approval from FEMA, then they'll send us the grant agreement paperwork and we can get started on that. The property acquisition grant that we had from hazard mitigation, one of the two has been approved. It's on tonight's agenda for review for you guys to approve. This would purchase 4 homes in Diamond Head that have had repetitive flood losses and that applied for the program and were accepted in. Then we'll have to go out and negotiate making those purchases. Once that's done, the houses would be removed off the property and the lot would become perpetual green space once again. So that's on the agenda for tonight for approval. So the other hazard mitigation grant that we have out there just has not been funded yet, so we're still having to wait on that. The rest of the projects are kind of under just kind of being held right now, so we'll get back to them as soon as we get some updates.
Thank you, John. Are there any public comments on agenda items?
What about city manager, council ask?
Oh, yeah, that's after public comments. Isn't it? All right, any council comments on the city manager's comment?
Yes, I got one. So, John, what's the status of the survey being done on the Norma Drive boat launch dredging?
Tonight's agenda for final approval or substantial completion on that project. Yes, for the substantial completion, and they'll get me that information back of so the engineers feel they met the requirements of what the contract was for. And no, they still need to get there and put out the delineators or markers out, and channel markers out in that, so that people know how to get in and out and where they need to drive their boats.
Inside the channel, though, it's 6 feet at mean high tide, or?
It should be. I was looking at the plans the other day. It is 6 feet at mean high tide, so that's what it should be as far as the depth goes.
Okay, thank you.
Councilman Clark?
No, thank you.
Councilman Cumberland?
Yeah, John, on the hazard mitigation grant program, how much of the funding is going to be grants, and how does the city have to contribute any?
It's a 90-10 process. The FEMA will pay 90% of it, and then the city is responsible for the other 10%. But as our consultant Rostand explained to us, and when we started this project, and I'll verify that again, that's going to come from the homeowners' pay, I guess. If the house, or the buyout amount, so if the house is worth $200,000, the FEMA's going to give us 180, we would keep, or we would have to, or 190, we would have to pay the 10, and then the 10 would come from the homeowner's buyout. So the homeowner's only going to get the 190.
So we're not
Which is a little weird. We're not paying the 180,000, whatever it is that's on there,
or the 10%.
or the 10%. That's coming from the homeowner themselves.
Okay, great, thanks. That's all I have.
But we are going to pay every bit of it because it's all reimbursed to us. So the city's going to have to pay it all.
I got you. Thank you.
Councilwoman Lisi?
No, thank you.
I don't have anything. I think Gerard got one question. All right, motion to approve May 20th regular meeting minutes.
Move.
Motion by Councilman Cumberland. Can I get a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Clark. All in favor?
Aye.
I need to abstain.
All righty, resolutions. Motion to adopt resolution 2025-017, appointing Michael Gene Peters to fill the vacant position of Planning and Zoning Commissioner representing Ward 4, effective immediately.
Move.
Motion by Councilman Clark. Can I get a second?
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Lisi. Any discussion?
No, sir.
All in favor? Roll call, resolution, here we go.
Finley,
Yes.
Lisi.
Yes.
Cumberland.
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Marr.
Yes.
All right, motion to approve the consent agenda as revised.
So move.
Motion by Councilman Cumberland. Can I get a second?
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Lisi. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, action agenda. Motion to concur with the Planning Commission's recommendation to approve a text amendment to the sign ordinance, Article 8.7A, political signs. The proposed text amendment is to allow temporary signs such as election signs so that they may be placed on private property on the right-of-way at least 2 feet from the street. Case file number is 202-500-135.
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Marr. Can I get a second?
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Lisi. Any discussion, Councilman Clark?
No, sir.
Councilman Cumberland?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 All right. Motion to approve docket of claims DKT 232823 through DKT 232848 in the amount of $686,444.39.
Move.
Motion by Councilman Clark. Can I get a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Marr. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to approve docket of claims number DKT 232489 in the amount of $37,712.75.
Move.
Motion by Councilman Cumberland. Can I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Lisi. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Do we have any public comments on non-agenda items? Any other comments by the council on anything we've done? Any need for executive session?
Actually, there is. So we need a motion to go into closed session to determine the need for executive session.
So moved.
Motion to go into closed session by Councilman Lisi. Councilwoman Lisi, do we get a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Clark. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.